Okay, my fellow Earthlings. I just made a segment of this process video which I'm making now of this brick, and it lasts for 20 minutes, and I talk about what I do with the textures and how to build them and how it relates to decay, how it relates to the laws of nature, what colors I use, why I like painting bricks and objects, and all sorts of things that I talk about. I think it became pretty fluent and to the point with without all of my usual digressions, always some digressions. But I think you might find it interesting. If you wonder why you should bother painting objects or still lifes. So if this can inspire you, it will make me happy. So give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and help my channel grow. Share it with your friends, put on my shorts so that I got more views. And if you want to support my channel or support my work, you can go to Patreon and sign up for a tier there. I do also will do streams with you and stuff like that to teach you how to paint if you become a patron. I will soon add buy me a coffee, so if you want to do that, do it. Yeah. Anyway, hope to see you on Patreon, and hope you wait and see to see the whole process video. Yeah, too bright now, but anyway, that's so. In this segment I'm going to paint more details in the brick, and I will zoom in here and maybe a little bit down like this, so you can see. Maybe I also work on the shine in the yeah, you know what I mean, the glass. So I had a very good flow now, because now I'm actually starting to add in the details, and it's going to be a long process, because literally I want this to become really good. What colors I use now is basically more the orange colors. I also used French ultramarine, and I mixed that in with cadmium orange, and also used cadmium yellow. Maybe I mix it in with my blue black, as I did now. And I kind of go back and forth and try to find that right shadow color, because the colors in this brick is basically quite broken. As I said before in this video, the nuances in this is very close together, and I have to figure out a way to make it vivid, or make it be very 3D without me going crazy with too much color. Because I have a tendency, and that is one bad thing that I say about my own paintings, which I actually think is correct, that I tend to overdo the colors. Now, to a certain point, that gives my paintings a certain, shall we say, it gives them a certain kind of personality, because they are not perfect compared to a more classical skilled painter, a painter who has maybe gone to an art school or gone to and learned very classical painting. There are actually academies that still do that. I know there's one in Firenze where a friend of mine, or a guy I know, went, and he's very good. And so they kind of tend to keep it more down. They keep it more inside, like they used to do in the like 1700s, 1600s. I think it's very nice work, don't get me wrong, it's really nice work, but I want something more. I want it to be a little bit more 3D, and then I mean actual 3D. I want them to, of course, a painting is really 3D, it's a relief of paint. If you keep every single brush stroke very limited in texture and brushwork, you will actually get closer to a 2D. And there are some photorealists who do that, and that is of course necessary in photorealism, because you want it to be more like a photo. I'm not after any photorealism, I'm after realism, and that is realism in shape, texture, form, almost like you should actually build this in clay. So, and that demands of me a hell of a lot actually, because it's not that easy to control. Also, as I said, I'm not classically schooled, so I don't really have a shall we say, I don't have a recipe. Of course I have my recipe, but I don't have the classical recipe. I never studied it, never did. I just looked at textures, and I kind of started to understand the brushwork, the importance of the brushwork, the importance of keeping kind of brushwork behind here. They have to be low. It's very difficult to build the shape in this, so I just kept it down. Keep it down over here. Maybe I should actually post this as a standalone lecture. And then when I go here, I will actually try to build more physical space. I will add more color, thicker textures. The way to do that actually is more like you know when a pianist plays the piano? You can't play the piano or play good music with the same pressure on the tangents, or whatever you call it in English. In Norway we call it tangenter. Tangenter, or you know the things you press. I actually started to learn the piano now, so maybe I will get a better painter by doing that actually. But you have to get this shape, you have to learn to see how much pressure you should put on the paint. Like this surface is very smooth, but when it comes to the cracks in the brick, they're quite thick. There's a lot of texture, and I need to balance these two things. I need to kind of get it to just squint on it. They are almost the same color, but what makes them different, not the same color, but not the same, almost the same tone, yeah. totally different colors, of course, or not totally different, but there's not actually any totally different colors when it comes to realistic painting, because every nuance are basically a product of the nuance beside it. Unless I had a totally red surface and then a totally green surface, when you don't have that extreme difference in color, all the nuances are coming much closer to one another. So yeah, that's why I have to balance it in both texture and brushwork and nuance. Also, direction is very important. When you paint, you have to think in directions. What will the best direction for me to differentiate this texture and this texture? What will be the best way to do it? And I will say maybe I should drag this down and make this way, and so, but that is also a thing that I will figure out as I go along. Maybe it's both, you know, it's just over time, and that is what happens over time, which is so beautiful, which I've said in many videos, that when you keep on painting, I keep observing what has happened to this brick during its lifetime, if you can call it that, because it's kind of a lifetime. It's like human beings, we go through life and our experiences and what happens to us is kind of tattooed into our minds and tattooed into our physical bodies. Have we had a good life? Do we have some trauma? Did we drink too much? Did something happen? Or did you just everything came to you too easily, so you don't really care about kind of evolving yourself and becoming better, or have any ambition? All of these things will actually be tattooed into your personality and give character. And the same thing is what happens to a brick, basically. All the things that happens to it what happened to it so it broke up like this? You know, what trauma made this pattern? Well, something happened. I don't know what happened, but I know something happened, okay? So to kind of get this to feel right, I need to see when something hit this, it will create a pattern that is compatible with the laws of nature. Nothing will happen to this brick that can't be explained by mathematics. So if I start doing some very huge mistakes with composition and stuff like that, so it will just look wrong. Even a crack in a brick has a certain structure, a certain texture that represents the trauma that actually hit it. And the same thing with human beings. We evolve as we go along, become more and more human. Well, some people actually become less and less because they kind of give up and they don't want to change and they don't want to face reality, and they just watch TV and then they bloody well die. Now I'm going into existentialism again, but that is basically why I paint bricks in the first place, because they remind me of life. It's like driftwood, it's like broken trees, it's like growing trees, it's like flowers, it's like human beings. You can see how you can sense basically, or see the beauty of the laws of nature, and how also every experience shapes people's personality. You can guarantee if you meet some asshole somewhere, they have had trauma in their life. Somebody treated them like shit. And that is why they are how they are. So in a way we should basically forgive them because they didn't become like this by their own hand. It was maybe a father, maybe it was sexual abuse, maybe it can be many things, but it's usually trauma. Nobody just turned into an asshole for no reason. As this brick didn't get that thing here for no reason. Anyway, I keep always ranting about these thoughts I have about life. I'm actually in the process of starting writing some books and stuff, and starting off my human condition exhibition or series where I will go deep into the most horrific themes of human nature. And I will also, of course, paint and write about the most beautiful things. So maybe that is, the reason why do I paint a brick? Because it represents existence, it represents the process, it represents the law of thermodynamics, how everything just dissolves, and yeah, that is my fascination with objects. And it's not any object. I always choose my object for some reason. I just don't find a brick and I pick it up and I paint it. It's like I don't just paint anyone, unless they have, of course, pay me a lot of money. Everybody needs to live, me too, but then I also try to, and most people, at least a person who wants a painting of themselves or something, are usually a little bit interesting because they appreciate art and painting and stuff like that. So there's usually a higher bar for being more human. I'm not saying that stupid people are not human or superficial people are not human. They are exactly as human as anyone else. They haven't tapped into what being human is. And that is deep introspection. That is deep honesty. To face your own demons and actually trying to change your behavior, which is basically the most difficult thing. So this was a rant about the brick. It's funny how I can actually turn anything into existentialism. But it's true. I mean, any brick, anything I do, it's always really intense. It's always really there. And it can be suffocating actually, because my brain is kind of on all the time. It's never any peace. There's peace when I paint. And other things, that gives me peace. And that is what I'm looking for now. At the age of 56, I just want to paint and have some peace of mind. And now I will try to go into, to make some of the cracks. And then I use my Prussian blue first and some black. I use blue-black because I think the ivory is too stupid to say dirty. Now this is just drawing them in here, and I can actually already see that I've done some mistakes. This one is supposed to be longer that way. The distance between there and there is longer. And the starter. First I just draw them in and then I start molding what's around them. So it doesn't look like I have painted them, kind of just painted them. Oh, here's a cut, here's a cut. No, you have to first paint it in and then you have to kind of make it into a crack. Not just draw the crack on it, just make it into an actual crack in the painting, in the paint. And that's how you get sculptural realism, like this. You see, I'm starting to paint around it, and I will do that several times. I will go deeper and deeper into detail as I go along. I think I want to post this segment as a standalone, and also will be a part of the whole process, of course. Process video, but I think people, you know, sometimes I feel sorry for people to come to my channel and they think they're gonna learn about painting, and I keep ranting about politics and life and existence and stuff. But there's a reason, and the reason is there's a link between textures and life, brushwork and life. And that was exactly 20 minutes. So I see you in the next segment, and hopefully I will see you, or you will see me, in the full tutorial or process video when it's finished. Thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and do all those things.